Welcome to Unboxing. My name is Rafael Escobedo, and on this video, we'll go ahead and talk about the previews and predictions of Danny Garcia versus Paulie Malignaggi. First one goes some quick notes. The boxing was going on this week. Andre Berta is going to face Mayweather September 12th. That is, so far, hasn't been finalized yet. They're still waiting to see if they're going to be on CBS or pay-per-view. One of the reasons they're waiting for that because they think they're not going to make enough money on CBS for advertisement sponsorships because they don't have enough time. So basically, I'm trying to make a pay-per-view for Mayweather to get his money. It's Mayweather's fault for waiting so late to pick the fighter he's going to fight. And this blows up in his face because that's what he gets for trying to take the easy way out, get that undefeated record. Let's talk about from bad pay-per-view to good pay-per-view. We have, it's been finalized, it's been okayed. Triple G, David Lemieux are going to fight October 17th at New York's Madison Square Garden. A lot of people be up there. A lot of people from Canada rooting for David Lemieux. A lot of fans for Triple G in New York. Whichever Triple G would have won, he won Las Vegas, California. I think he still would have been okay for his fan base. Would have liked a build up to this fight, not because David Lemieux is not ready or Triple G to get a little bit ready for the fight. Just more of a build up for a good fight is going to happen pay per view. It's going to kind of suck. Not the real boxing fans are not going to know about it because it's going to go jump straight right into it. A little build up would have been better. David Lemieux fight co-main event with Triple G. It just would have helped out get more boxing fans into it and get it ready for the fight. This is good too. David Lemieux loses, 26 years old, no problem. At least he fought one of the top dogs out there. And if he wins, most likely it'd probably be a rematch clause with Triple G. I mean, I would think so, but it depends how much money to get off and how much of a good fight is going to be and which is going to be a good fight. David Lemieux puts a lot of pressure and Triple G gets a knockout. I'm going to go ahead and do a video for predictions for that David Lemieux and Triple G fight sometime this week. I'll let it out a little bit earlier. Last time I did this, it's the first time I do on YouTube channel. Did Mayweather versus Pacquiao the first week. I wish I had more time for it to circulate and get people's opinion on it. So whoever wins out of Triple G and David Lemieux, one of the things that Oscar De La Hoya wants is the winner out of Miguel, Cotto, Canelo. For De La Hoya being involved in it, one of his fighters has to win, which is Canelo or David Lemieux. This fight still hasn't been finalized yet as of right now. July 29th, most likely going to be on Mandalay Bay on the 21st of November. Even though it's not finalized, I'm going ahead and just tell my friend I'm going to make it to his wedding because I'm going to be watching this boxing match. One of the things that was causing for the finalization of this contract for this fight to be signed, the days Cotto and HBO wanted to fight had was the Thomas Mack Center, which they didn't want to do. Or November 7th, which would have been an MGM, but at the same time, they don't want to fight an MGM because they have, one of the things they talked about, they got Floyd Mayweather's banner draped down in the MGM. They don't want that to be associated with their fight anywhere around, so they're going to go ahead and round it. I'm not sure that's the real reason, but that's one of the things they said out there. I think one of the things I read before was the MGM was booked for the 21st. That's why they didn't have it set for the 21st yet. And they want to keep it on a strip, and they want to do it at the Mandalay Bay. The last quarter of the 2015 is looking pretty good. And also in talks, we also have the people for Frampton and Scott Quigg, who looks kind of like a sober Steve O from Jackass. They're talking about having a 2-fight deal. The first fight in Manchester and the second fight in Belfast. And most likely it's going to look like a good fight. It's going to be a real competitive fight. I'm not sure how much of a landslide, if one does win, how much of a landslide it's going to be. But Frampton always talked about it publicly that he wants to fight the United States. He wants to fight if the competition is at. So see if this 2-fight deal happens or Frampton is going to keep on competing over here in the United States. And let's get into the day of the fight. Daniel Jacobs versus Sergio Mora. Jacob, who has the WBA middleweight champion, is going to defend it against Sergio Mora. Sergio Mora actually has been kind of quiet. He's been fought earlier this year. He fought 2 times last year. So he's been quiet in the boxing scene. He hasn't fought nobody, any named fighters, anything like that. But Sergio Mora is still kind of skilled. He's smart. Jacobs is just more of a young fighter and probably out-edge Sergio Mora. You would think after whoever wins out, Daniel Jacobs and Sergio Mora, they'll probably fight Peter Quillen, but that's one of PBC's other fighters, so they're not going to try to unify the belts under one because they're trying to make some money by spreading the belts out with 2 different fighters. Hopefully it becomes a pretty good fight. Jacobs just being more younger probably wins Sergio Mora. And let's go to the main event. Basically this fight people thought it was a joke. Danny Garcia going up to 147 fight Paulie Malignaggi, and one of the reasons is that he's fighting Paulie Malignaggi, which I didn't thought he would still keep on fighting after he lost against Sean Porter like the way he did, because Paulie Malignaggi will kind of like it will seem that he's retired for a while, then he come back and fights and sometimes win a belt, so you never know. He probably impressed on this fight. Paulie Malignaggi in the last fight fought Sean Porter, got KO in the 4th round. That was last year of April, so it's been over a year now that he hasn't fought. Has a little ring rust, and 5 months earlier he fought Zab Judah and he won by unanimous decision, but Zab Judah is still there, not 100% if he's still good or not, and Zab Judah doesn't show like he's one of those top fighters like he used to be. And then he lost against Adrian Broner, and that ended up being a split decision. Most likely it looked like Adrian Broner dominated Paulie Malignaggi, but Malignaggi will box him towards the end when Broner was getting gassed out and tired. Broner was just playing around too much in the early rounds, but he could just easily beat him if he just took it seriously. That's one of the things that Paulie Malignaggi has. He has the experience. He could box, but he doesn't have the power. If you've seen out through his career, he don't have that punchy power. But one of the things about him, he's actually pretty strong. He could withstand some punishment. It just didn't look so great against Shawn Porter. Didn't know if something he got distracted with going into that fight, or he just doing it for the money. But it was for the IBF World Welterweight title that he fought Shawn Porter in. If he fights the way he fought against Shawn Porter, he probably won't last Danny Garcia, but he does have a lot of time in the 147 division, which is a little bit established in that weight, and he probably would be able to take some of the punches Danny Garcia lays out there. And Danny Garcia moved up to 147 when he fought Lamont Peterson. He was complaining that he couldn't make that weight. He had trouble making weight. When you see him, he kind of did look smaller than Lamont Peterson. I'm not sure that's one of the reasons. It was kind of hard to believe that he couldn't make a 140 anymore. Now he's going to fight at 147, so he didn't want to take a big fight. He's going to take Paulie Malignaggi, who hasn't been so great previously, but still somebody that could box and has experience. So hopefully see if Danny Garcia is able to perfect his endurance. The only thing I got to say about him, he does have some good boxing skills. He outboxed Lucas Matisse, which you've seen previous. He also TKO Amir Khan. He beat him to the punches all the time and also laid him out. So that kind of a big plus for Danny Garcia. Just the only thing, he just hasn't been looking good against Lamont Peterson and Mauricio Herrera. The Mauricio Herrera fight, a lot of people thought Herrera won that fight. That's why he's in the top of the 140 pounds division. This weight division of 147 pounds fits Danny Garcia. So hopefully he'll be able to bring up everything he did at 140 when he was up there in the prime, not having problems with his weight, boxing technique, his speed, and his power punch. But Danny Garcia, at 27 years old, still young, still faster than Paul. And Danny having pretty good boxing skills. And also he wants to make an impression at 147 pounds because all the other fighters will be out there. Keith Thurman, who didn't look so great the last fight. Kell Brook, Amir Khan, if he wants to fight him again, Amir Khan. Even to have a chance against Mayweather, which you never know, Mayweather's fight in September is going to be his last fight. Try and make an impressive fight and win by a KO. So I see this fight going Danny Garcia's way for 10-round KO. Paulie Malignaggi, I just don't think he don't have it anymore, so you never know how he's going to respond. That 1 year layoff, not looking good the last fight. I think Danny Garcia is going to win by KO. And one of the reasons I'm going to say he's going to win by KO is because I think he's going to bring that power punch up to 147 pounds. If he had trouble making 140 pounds and he feels great at 147, I don't see why he's not going to bring that power up at 147. Also, one of the things is Shawn Porter, who doesn't really land a clean punch. He kind of like smothers it. He don't hit it flush. And Danny Garcia does. He's a more precise fighter than Shawn Porter is. So that's one of the reasons I see him have a KO in the 8th round. One of the reasons probably would take him a little bit long is because of the 147. I get accustomed to it. And Paulie Malignaggi being a little bit bothersome in the beginning because he does have some technical skills. But Danny Garcia is going to out-edge him. Not really too crazy about this fight, but that's they're putting this in front of him, and I kind of understand why he's taking Paulie Malignaggi at 147 due to that's going to be his first fight at 147. He wants to see what he's able to bring. Landside win for Danny Garcia, and this is a free fight, so it shouldn't be no problem. It's going to be coming on ESPN. But that's pretty much for me on this video. I'm going to go ahead and have 2 videos coming out from predictions for David Lemieux versus Triple G and for Saul Alvarez versus Miguel Cotto. Also check out my video on the top 5 fighters that I have right now as of June 2015. I'll go ahead and leave the link in the description below. Thank you for Matt Boxing. Please like, please subscribe. If you want to leave any comments for discuss, go ahead and do that in the comment box below.